Today I'm on the Chasewater Railway. I'm lucky enough to be on the footplate and we're exploring the line and how it came to be. So I'm on the Wyrley and Essington Canal, and this leads down to here to Ogley Junction, and you've got the Lichfield Canal just there, which is part of today's story. But first of all, we are just on a bridge here, and years ago, when boats used to be pulled by horses, they were towed with a rope, and you used to get rubbing on the edge of the bridges, and it used to wear the bridges out. So they started putting these sort of cast iron strips on, and the idea was it was a lot stronger and didn't rub like the soft brick or stone would. But what you can still see on here are all these grooves, and that's where thousands and thousands of boats have been pulled through and the rope has rubbed into it. So a little bit further down, you might remember this from my very first video on the channel, there's an aqueduct here, and this leads down onto the Mclean Way, which is back to the track, who are clearing basically an old railway and making it into a cycleway and a greenway through from Lichfield to Walsall. And look at that aqueduct sitting up above there. It's a fantastic structure, and down here we've still got some railway track laid in place. So coming away from the aqueduct, we are walking towards Watling Street, which is a Roman road, an original road or route of a road. And on the other side of here, which we can't get to at the moment, is an old works. So what you've got here is you can see several stages of this bridge. You've got what is like the original bridge that would have gone across the railway, taking Watling Street across, and then as you come through here, you've got the old tracks that are down on the side here, and then you've got where it's been widened into a dual carriageway. And just through here would have been a junction, so there would have been a massive works here. It was an oil works, and this is the reason why the railway is still in place here, although it is completely abandoned now and being lifted. And in fact, I think the bit behind this fence is already gone. Now back the tracker here working to open this up so you can use it as a cycleway or a greenway through, and they're doing a fantastic job. So first of all, please do give them a like on Facebook, their link will be in the description. But this oil works is now long gone, and the branch that was on the other side took you up to an area called Chasewater. There's now a fantastic railway up there, and that railway is a steam railway going through along the old colliery branches. So we're going to pop over there now and see what they have to offer. And here we are at the Chasewater Reservoir. Now this is completely different to what it would have looked like back in the day. It is now an absolutely beautiful area which has been done when the canals, this was a canal feeder, it held 4.4 billion litres of water and used to feed the Wyrley and Essington. And when that canal became less used, they needed a new purpose for this reservoir. So it was eventually bought by the council, who completely transformed the area. We would have been surrounded by railways and collieries and all sorts, and this area would have just been black, full of soot and everything. And in fact, the railway which we're heading to now, the old tracks were laid, and it was basically all the waste and the spoil was put there, and it was on fire. And you used to be able to see it at times glowing, where it just kept burning really. So it was quite dangerous back then. Anyway, the Chasewater Railway, which is just ahead of us here, is now the modern interpretation of that railway. Now this is a colliery railway, but this section is actually the old Midlands Railway, and what you can't see now is behind us here is the M6 toll, and that was originally where the station was on this end of the railway, but that has been lost. When the M6 toll was built, they rebuilt the station further up, and we're here to visit today to see what they've got to offer.
Yeah, so my name's Barry Bull. I'm the curator of the museum at Chasewater Railway, the big building which we call the Heritage Centre, where we're in now, and the station yard, eventually a station at, well, we call it Chasewater Heath, and beyond that there's a station, a little halt, you might as well call it, at Church Street. Now, Church Street is more or less where the locomotive shed for the Cannock Chase Colliery Company was, and the first locomotive that worked there was called Mclean, after the Mclean, as in Mclean Way. John Mclean, engineer of the South Staffs Railway, and together with his partners they signed an arrangement with the Earl, the Marquis of Anglesey, to use some of his land to construct collieries.
And this area now is stunning. It really is. It's been absolutely transformed as well. So when they got here to kind of restore the nature in this area, it was just abandoned. Like I said, it was all black, it was full of soot. And the railway, which is just in front of us over there, was originally on a big bank. And that bank, there was a big dip in between it where everything was just dug out in between. And they imported loads of fly ash from around the place. There's a power station locally where they got loads of it from. They filled all the gaps, they topsoiled it and completely rebuilt this area. And now you look at it and it's just full of nature. You've got woodlands, you've got lakes, you've got wetlands, you have absolutely everything. This reservoir is well used for sort of outdoor pursuits. You've got people there water skiing and everything. It's really good to see this. This is the third largest in Staffordshire of reservoirs, and it is the biggest in the East Midlands as a reservoir canal feeder. So we've managed to grab one of the first class carriages on here, which are lovely little carriages actually. And we're going to take a little trip up to the first station now, where there's a lovely little cafe and stuff on there as well. Quite a few engines here and rolling stock and stuff everywhere. You've got some pacers down through here as well, which we actually came on the other day. So some of the footage you're going to see as we jump to the next station will be from a pacer. So the railway follows around the lake, and this lake used to feed the Wyrley and Essington Canal, which was a major canal in the area, and they had problems with water levels. So they built this reservoir up here to feed the water, and this is now a massive country park, and we'll get into why in a second. You see as we're coming around here, we're starting to come into sort of wetland areas and stuff. Now this is quite good because this was all old industry up here. This was full of collieries around here and would have been just black and scattered with debris and abandonment after they all left. So the reservoir was opened in 1797 on the 8th of May, and it burst in June 1799. It caused damage 4.5 miles to the southeast, killing a lot of livestock and damaging a lot of land. So it was rebuilt by Thomas Dadford and reopened in March 1800, and it was lined with limestone to make it stronger and built much wider so it had more strength and depth.
The society started in 1959 at a meeting in the Railway Hotel in Stafford. I think there were 16 people there, men and boys, and there was about 12 adults and about 4 youngsters. The aim was to set up some sort of a museum, possibly operating railway, in the West Midlands. The society was part of a national group, and it called the Railway Preservation Society. The first items were obtained in 1960, a couple of old carriages from Cannockwood Colliery, and we opened a depot at Hensford. The depot at Hensford closed by 1970, but in 1965 we'd actually signed a lease to move everything eventually to Chasewater and reconstruct what was left of a very derelict railway. The railway itself was the Midland Railway branch from Aldridge through Walsall Wood, Brown Hills, round the side of the lake, which in those days was called Norton Pool, and very much different to it is today. And it served the coalfields the other side of the reservoir.
So the station we're going into now is called Chasewater Heaths, and this was part of the extension which was done after the construction of the M6 toll motorway, which severed the line behind us. So this was opened in 2000. It has a cafe and a recently rebuilt signal box on the end of the platform. It's got loads of rolling stock in here as well. We're going to stop off here and have some lunch, and then carry the journey on up around the horseshoe on the lake.
Hi, I'm Luke Tucker, the operations director and the driver for today. So what we have, we've got the fire in there, so we burn coal to heat the water up. You can see the water level in the gauge glass on this side and that side. So everything above there is steam. From the steam then we have this, which is called the reverser, a bit like gears in a car, so we have forwards and reverse and some bits in between. We then have the regulator, so that takes steam from the boiler, takes it to the cylinders. That allows us to turn the steam into motion. We then have a whistle at the top on the chain, and we've got 3 brakes. So we've got a vacuum brake that controls the carriages. We have a steam brake which applies to the loco on its own, And we also have a handbrake which we use like a parking brake. Side, handbrake when ready please. Brass handle gets a lot hotter than the steel one. There it is, guys.
How cool is this? I'm on the footplate now. You probably can't hear a word of this because of the noise of the engine. Very, very cool. This is the end of the line now. It's just a small halt. It hasn't got the cafe like the other one.
I've just made a copper. The copper melts at what, 900 degrees?
Yeah.
And as I said, the fire gets to 1500 degrees. So the water level is the only thing that stops things from going bang very quickly.
How much coal do you use on a journey?
Oh, I don't know about my journey. On a day, we probably get through about 3/4 of a tonne.
In a whole day's running?
Yeah. We are volunteer run, so we're always looking for volunteers. That's anything from maintenance through to operation of locos. We do have this year, especially in August, we have our celebrations of 60 years running on the site here. So we have a big 9-day event in August, as well as several other special events throughout the year. 1940 is a very popular weekend here, and in July we have our second ever beer festival.
So we're going back now to Chasewater Heath, and it's only a short stop up to the next station. You can do these experience days. They run them several times a year, so I'll put some links in the description. It's well worth it, trust me. I mean, I'm a big kid, but this is very, very cool. But yes, please have a look in the description, and I'll put a link across the bottom here as well where you can sign up for them. What a fantastic day we've all had here today. This is, like I said, the second time we've been here this weekend. It's really cheap. It costs about 20 quid for you and the family to come. They're running steam engines, they're running pacers. They've got diesel, which aren't running at the moment, but will be. So do please come down and have a look and see this fantastic railway for yourselves. I want to say a huge thank you to Sue Wesley, who's helped loads in the making of this video. She's set up everything that you've seen today, so thank you very much for that. And yeah, enjoy the steam when you come. Have a great day.